All right, so we are back. We're going to talk about some of the common things you're going to see at the parts store if you were going to try this yourself. And we're going to talk about one in specific about this should be avoided. All these things are, if you're going to do this yourself, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like an elitist, but it's mostly just guessing, because as we discussed in the first video, the AC system relies heavily on pressures and weights and stuff like that. So there's really no way when you buy a 12-ounce can of Freon, it's how do I know exactly how many kilograms of Freon am I getting into this system? If you undercharge it, you're not going to have a properly performing AC system. If you overcharge it, you're going to have an improperly performing AC system. So when you go in, there's three primary types of stuff you're going to see. All modern vehicles you're going to find use Freon 134A. The newer stuff, Honda started using it in 2016. The newer stuff was like 17, 18, stuff like that. It's a completely different beast. It's really expensive. We're not going into that. But this would be just your standard Freon. This is just Freon only. There are no additives to this. This is just, you could throw it in there if you wanted to, and hopefully it works. Assuming that it's not working because it's low on Freon. The next is the Freon with the UV dye. As we discussed in the last video, the dye is built into this. This is pretty decent stuff, so that way, again, if you're low on Freon, you add this Freon, it leaks out, you take it to a shop, we can find the dye, or you can get your stylish glasses. This is a AC Pro system. It's got a gauge on the top. It's got a pistol grip with trigger. And this attaches to the test port, or to the service port. I've actually never used one of these. I guess the theory is that you just add it until it goes into green, and it's going to be at 30 or 40 psi, and that should be sufficient. I don't know how they determine, how much Freon your vehicle takes versus how much it weighs versus if it's good or not. I don't know. So even this, which is supposed to be accurate, is at best a guess. For these other two systems, or these other two cans, you would have to buy a cable like this. This is real simple. Screws into this. This goes on the service port. Screw this down, and it punctures the can and will inject it. In order to use any of these things properly, you really need to have a fancy set of gauges. I'm not going to go into how to read these because, frankly, nobody wants to know about that right now because it's going to take too long. I did want to talk about the last can real quick. This is R134A Freon with stop leak in it. Stop leak, whether it's in your tires, we did a tire video. It's a great demonstration as to why you should never use it in your tires. You should also never use stop leak in your AC systems for all the same reasons you don't use it in your tires. The problem is that the stop leak, while it's supposed to plug a leak, it's also sending gelatinous chunks in through your entire system. So you can clog your fixed orifice valve, you can clog your receiver dryer, which is a filter, you can clog your AC condenser, which has tiny passages. And while you might have an issue like this truck where we have an O-ring leaking, you put some stop leak in there and you might cause a larger concern or a larger issue that has to be dealt with. A lot of times when people use this, we open up the system, we find this jelly all through the whole thing, and we end up having to flush the lines, replace the filters and stuff like that. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend never using this. It's going to cost you a lot more money than it's going to save you. So that's just kind of a quick rundown on some of the basic stuff that you'll see on the part shelf, how it compares to what we use in a professional environment, and that's just kind of Freon 101, I guess we'll call it. So thanks for tuning in, and we got a couple more videos coming for you. Thanks.